I reckon you need to get a pair of headphones. It changes the whole experience, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you have it, just go. These Philips ones cost me $20,
Yeah.
and it is so much better. I reckon.
Yeah, right. Just fucking hair's rugged. Anyway. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Season 2, Brewed for Greatness. We made it through one season, so better than we first expected. We've had a little hiatus, a couple weeks off over the Chrissy break. Elliot had nationals he was starting to dial in and really focus on, and so we thought we'd have a few weeks off, but we're back. We're going to get back into the swing of things and aim to get one of these out a week. So, yeah, welcome back.
Thanks, mate. I reckon talk about throwing a cat amongst
Cat amongst the pigeons.
cat amongst the pit is Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah,
Like that, all that stuff just throws all the routine. Hey,
yeah. Festive season's hard to. It's stay, I guess, committed and you know what I mean.
I know, I
So
know,
much stuff pops up. Everyone's off. You've
I know.
got so many social requirements, family requirements. So
Yep,
that's
100%.
all right.
We didn't plan on doing seasons and stuff like that. We're just going to be like, all right, we'll just run it episode 1 through to whatever. Except
Yeah.
this is just forced us into the old season 2. But I reckon it's good. That to be honest, there wasn't actually that much to report over the Christmas period. There wasn't a lot happening.
No, well, within our two main sports that we're covering, it's off
Exactly.
season.
Exactly.
So there's pretty much nothing happening. So, yeah.
Well,
But
after that Ironman, after New Zealand, I was like, oh geez, we're going to be scraping the barrel here.
yeah, yeah, there wasn't too much happening. There's still not triathlon wise. Cycling's starting to kick off again.
It is
Which man, they don't get much of a break, do they?
the old cyclists.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
straight back into it. But how was your Chrissy, mate?
Christmas. Well, I've been a little bit all over the place at the moment. Christmas was good. Spent it up in Queensland, which was nice. And then before you know it, it's national. So it was hard to really splurge out as I would have wanted to, because you got
Yep.
nationals, that little cloud hanging over the head, just
Yep.
talking to you every time you feel like going up for seconds and thirds. So,
Yep.
but that's all right. So tick nationals off, which we'll get into a little bit more detail. And then back today, so back into the routine of life, which I'm very happy about, to be honest, because I love having a nice routine.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
you, mate? How has the last month for you been?
It's been quite good. I worked through Chrissy,
Yep.
so I just had public holidays off and worked through the rest. And my better half chuffed off over the ditch to New Zealand, so I was also batching. So I made it through 2 weeks by myself. That's good. But apart from that, mate, not too much has been happening. I'm starting to dial back into a bit of training and that, so still just been chipping away at that, trying to stay injury free. And yeah, now it's like we never had a Chrissy back into the swing of things. And yeah,
When I because I knew Phoebe was going away, but I didn't know she was gone for that long. And when you told me the date, I was like, oh boy,
yeah,
this Kurt is going to be
yeah,
tested. Oh, and we actually, this is funny. Before Phoebe went away, we were like, Kurt can't be left by himself for this extended period of time. Something is bound to happen. And boy, did Kurt nearly die.
what's this?
You got food poisoning,
Oh, mate.
and
Yes.
and not just a little bit of food poisoning. Bad.
No, I was crook. I had a bit of salmonella poisoning, turned out. So yeah, ate a not so great chicken and rice dish apparently. This is on Boxing Day, so I'd just done a Fernvale loop with the boys, and it was a good day. So I was like, oh, how good? And Phoebe asked if I could duck over to her parents and feed the dogs while they were all away. So righto, chuffed off over there, and I just grabbed a chicken and rice bowl on the way. Ate it, tasted fine, all good. Got home, and I was in bed early too, like 6:30. I was pretty knackered, and then I woke up at about 1 a.m. just in the sweats, in the sweats, freezing cold, boiling hot, and I thought, oh no, 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 no,
Oh.
no, what's going on here? Then the mouth starts watering.
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
worst. When
and
that starts happening, you know you're
oh
done. You're
yeah,
done.
and then I spent the best part of 4 or 5 hours in the shower, mate, just projectile, and then a couple of days of not constantly vomiting, just when you eat something, you'll bring it back up. But and then broke out in this mad little rash too for like a few days. So, um, yeah.
It's
So
always
see,
the
that's what.
chicken.
Oh, mate. And I think the rice is a pretty common culprit for
Yeah.
holding the bacteria.
Yep.
So, but
Yep.
anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. I think
my sec
if you have
my
some bad
second
rice as
favorite,
well.
yeah, my second favorite, I guess, takeaway food, Japanese, is off the cards for a bit. I reckon
I'm
it's
opposite
turned
to
me
you.
off it. Yeah,
It's going to be coming in hot.
yeah, okay.
But
Oh well,
but then also to go on top of why Kurt can't be left alone. So he's nearly died. But then after Christmas as well, he was nearly not even contactable because of some other incidents that he also had. If you wanted to tell the listeners what you've done.
yeah. So I went for a ride.
No, I reckon it stems before that when you left the coast
Oh,
and you're pretty yeah.
yeah. So I went up the coast for my birthday. Mum had been begging me to go up there, so I went up for a few days up the coast. Anyway, went out on the Sunday morning to go for a 5 hour ride up the coast. Anyway, left early. It's like 5:30. Got about 10 minutes up the road. Both shifter batteries die, and I'm like, you're kidding. Went to the 7-Eleven. Didn't have any button batteries. I'm like, oh, whatever. Rode back. Went for a quick jog, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll head home early before all the traffic, and then I'll get home, get some button batteries, and go for my ride in the Arvo. Yeah, sweet. Get in the car, gone by 9 o'clock. Sweet, no traffic. Hit Roy's Road, coming back from the coast. About 10 cars in front. A car had crashed and caught on fire. And I just sat in the same spot for like 75 minutes. Did not move. I thought, you got to be kidding me.
And
Far
what do you
out.
normally do on Sundays?
Me,
Yeah, it's your program day.
program day, dude.
Yep.
So I thought, righto. Anyway, finally get home, have quick something to eat. And then I noticed, oh, left my laptop up the coast. So I don't have my laptop to do all my programming. But it's all right because Mum's coming back. So, okay. So I go for a ride. Get out for my ride. Get about 3.5 hours. Get home at like 6:30 at night. Go to just pull my wallet and phone out of my back pocket, and I can't find it. I thought, you're fucking kidding me. Where's this thing? I walk back outside, and no, it's gone. So I'm going, no idea where it is. So I'm ringing Phoebe, getting her to track it. Turns out I left it at an under crit track. It's fallen out when I filled my bottles up. I had about 15 missed calls from Phoebe, about 10 missed calls from Mum. Go and get that, finally get home, have dinner, and then stay up till about midnight programming. And that was my birthday, dude.
And I'm calling him. It's like, man, like he must be busy. Like it's his
Yeah.
birthday. He hasn't
He's
messaged
probably
me
thinking,
back.
oh, he's got the shits with me.
Yeah,
What's going on?
something like that. And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
what's wrong?
Yeah.
So
Nah, that was but when you get older, mate, birthdays aren't that important. Well, they stopped being that important, so it's just another day, and it was a prick of a day.
fire, that's so funny. That is so
So,
funny.
yeah, I'm not the best at planning my life, mate, so,
That's right. I don't think anyone is.
nah. Well, no males, anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's what our better halves are for.
exactly, mate. Well,
So, you want to get straight into a gear grinder
yeah,
since we've been gone.
Yep.
So, what's grinded your gears over the last month, mate? The standout, the number one.
Mate, I reckon there's a few here, but one that's fresh on my mind is coming back home from Sydney today and waiting in the Melbourne queue for the Ubers. Anyways, me and Steph both had a bike each, and then our suitcases. So you know how you got like Uber X, which is just a normal car, Uber XL, which is the bigger SUV, which normally you can fit a bike or two into it, right? And then you got Uber Max, which is like meant to be a massive van that you can fit everything into. So and I have used this hundreds of times to just get two bikes in and your suitcases and everything like that. Anyways, it is chock-a-block. Steph's got to get back for work. And I don't know what was going on, but the airport today was insane. And anyways, lining up, 45 minutes, Uber comes, gets there, sees all our stuff. No, he's like, no. And I'm like, we've used this car before, like it's all good. You just need to put the seats down and everything will fit. He's like, nope, sorry, I'm not putting my seats down. Anyways, he ends up cancelling, goes off, standing there again, order an Uber, cancel. Order an Uber, cancel. We're literally there for an hour and a half until we could get it. So,
oh mate, I would have been building my bike up and riding home.
Yeah, I know. So that's a fresh gear grinder. Is if you're putting your Uber Max, you have to be prepared to put your seats down.
Yeah, well, people are choosing you for a reason. They've either got a family of 50, or they've got gear they're taking with them.
Exactly, and it's not even. There's the Uber XL, which is still a big car that you can even get away with. But then go in the Max, which is like we're coming because we've got extra gear, and it even says that under the Uber thing. So that was annoying. So that's a fresh gear grinder. You
mate, mine is these New Year resolutions at the gyms or at the pools.
Go.
Mate. You know, it's absolutely chaos in Brisbane at the moment in the pools or at the gym.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And especially the pool. It's more so the pool. I can get with the gym, like you can just go off to a corner and get your little shit done. But the pool, when you're trying to swim, and people are just like frolicking around in your lane or just walking laps in the fast lane. Like, dude, like.
So you're not opposed to people having New Year's resolution. You're opposed to the swim etiquette, to the lanes and everything.
Yeah, but it's also they turn up for a couple. Like we all know, you're going home in a few weeks. Just we're here to train
in the fast lane.
Oh, it just infuriates me. Like,
yeah, Kurt, yeah, you don't like anyone being in your lane, doing the wrong thing.
Well, I don't mind if you've got lane etiquette.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see you doing in the fast lane, doing breaststroke up the middle of the lane, or
on the ropes,
walking laps, or can barely swim in the fast lane. Yep. And it's not almost all their fault. Like that, they should be policing this.
Yep.
Because you've got the whole entire pool, apart from like 3 lanes that are lap swimming, that you can go and frolic around in.
Yep.
And and people will see you doing like a main set, like 2 or 3 of us in there, ripping, and they jump in and just swim straight up the middle, mate, doing breaststroke.
Oh.
So straight over the top of you. See you later. Thank you.
Oh, geez. So what's some pool etiquette? If you can name some pool etiquette do's and don'ts, hit me.
Do not swim up the middle of the lane.
Yep.
We circle clockwise. Circle the lane.
You hear they're having problems in Kona because
they were swimming up the wrong side.
Yeah, they're going anti-clockwise because they were European and they were getting all. Yeah. All right, next one.
And then stick to your fast, medium, or slow. Lanes. Like, if you're doing breaststroke with your head above the water, you're not in the fast lane.
Yep.
And if there's a lane with like 5 people in it, and then a lane with like 1 or none, go in the one with none.
Yep.
It's like they want company sometimes, so they just jump in the lane that's packed.
Yep.
So, yeah. And if you're walking laps, just do it in the open area.
Or outside.
Or go for a walk outside, you reckon? Just don't do it in the lately, dude, it's just been poor Phoebe's been copping it when I get home, just absolutely fuming that my swim was, because it gets to the point where you can't even swim, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but the pool should be policing it.
Well, they got those lifeguards, don't they?
Yeah, and just say,
Yeah.
hey, mate, jump in this lane, please.
Yep.
And you got to circle the lane, mate. You can't be swimming up and down the middle of the lane.
Yeah. I know everyone. It's just so skewed because you got people who are just doing it recreationally and for fun, and then you have people who are
Yeah.
doing it for like a big competition, and all people with lots of
Or
swimming
proper
history,
training.
or proper training. So it's just everyone's yeah. So
But it's just,
for the list,
especially over the holiday, I think it's like $2 swims in Queensland at the moment, I think.
really, that's
So-
good. I think what Kurt's trying to say is if you're doing it for fun, or you're doing it recreationally, or you do have a New Year's resolution, then go for it. Except it's not in the fast
Just
lane.
follow the lane etiquette.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
So-
fair. Well, it's essentially you're at the track and you're doing a running session and everyone's blocking the inside lane of
Yeah.
the track, constantly going around. Or I know for a fact cyclists would be getting very annoyed if they're at the crit track doing TT efforts
Yeah.
and there's a slow bunch on the inside of the track and you're
Like
constantly
full wide that you can't get around.
yeah.
They
So-
would, mate. The cyclists would go ripping
Exactly.
hard.
So to put into
Yeah.
context, that's what it's equivalent to,
Yeah.
which is fair.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
Easy,
apart
mate.
from that, mate, that's it. But I'm also just a grumpy old man, so you
That's
know
fair.
that.
No, you're not. You're not.
All right.
right,
Well, that's enough of us talking, mate. I reckon
Yep.
we jump into a bit of a Nats breakdown.
Yeah, let's do it. And I reckon it's good. We got two different perspectives, me there, and also what your interpretations were as a viewer.
Yep.
So if you're looking at it from online, like what do you think the conditions were like?
It looked pretty hot
Yeah.
again.
Yep.
So I thought it was another, I guess, good test of fueling and hydration.
Yeah.
Who stayed on top of that and who'd done a decent heat prep again, which isn't dissimilar to what Buninyong had been like most of the time. So that was the weather, and then, but it did look a little more dry, not so much humid.
Yep.
A dry heat, and then as for the course and the dynamic of it, I thought it was great.
Good viewing.
It was good viewing.
Yeah.
I was a little worried it wouldn't be very, I guess, dynamic enough for the cream to rise to the top, but that wasn't the case at all, mate. I think it blew people's doors off, maybe even more than Buninyong,
Yep. Yep.
because Buninyong, that climb really separate, but you've got such a fair bit of descent and whatnot that you can, I guess, recover.
Yep.
Where I feel like this didn't have it. It had that downhill section, but you had to be on the pedals the whole time.
Yeah.
So I thought it was quite good viewing.
Yeah. No, you're pretty right. When I was doing the pre-race rides before the event, and I was hearing all these podcasts and all these preview things, and it's like, nah, it's not hard enough to get rid of the sprinters and all this kind of stuff, and the course is pretty flat, and I was like, all right, it actually might be a sprint. And anyways, get there on the first day I arrive in Perth and go to a ride and get up the climb the first time, and I'm like, oh, is that it?
Mm.
And then I'm like, oh, geez, it's not a very hard climb. And then I was like, there's 100% the sprinters get over this. Anyways, go around a second time, and I'm just like, oh yeah. Go around a third time, and I'm like, oh, this is like, it's actually starting to like chip away a little bit.
And then spicy.
Yeah, and then I ended up doing some intervals and things like that along the way. And I'm like, this is like actually, the more and more you do it, it just bites you a little bit more and just chips away. Yeah. And it definitely did that. Like, it was kind of weird because it kind of did feel a little bit like a Buninyong. Like that climb was obviously the decisive point of the race. And it was always like, all right, you hit the climb. That's kind of all the decisive moves were happening. That's where it was kind of getting broken down a bit more. That's where you grab your feed and like you sort it, and then you're good for another lap. And that's what Buninyong's like. It's like you do the climb, you get your feed, and you set, and you go for another lap. And also in that whole lead up, with it not being as hot as what it was going to be, people were thinking, oh, the heat prep isn't going to come into play. But it still was actually quite hot. And the other thing is I was also thinking, oh, if I miss a bottle, like the laps are only fairly short, so it'll get me around really quickly. And if I miss a bottle, it's not going to be a problem. But like that, like bottle or two each lap was super crucial. Hey, because like you were saying, the heat was so dry. You were just like, it was just zapping you, and you felt like well, for me personally, it just felt a lot more dehydrated than normal. So if I like missed a bottle, I was panicking. Hey, like you were going through it quickly because you'd use one to squirt yourself, and then you'd have electrolyte in the other bottle, and that goes pretty fast. And I reckon that was pretty similar to Buninyong, to making sure you do get your tipper and your bottle each lap.
Yep.
So that's one thing. And then to go back to the course again, like you were saying about the descending, at Buninyong, how it does have a descent to recover. Exactly like you said, there was a slight descent in this course, but mate, like you climb along the top, and it was pretty much a false flat. So selections were being made on like that little short 2-minute rise as well. Like it was really grippy. And I remember saying to Kane, like after the race, the road was really weird. It made you feel like you had a puncture. And I was like, is something wrong? Like I feel like every time I get out of the saddle, like I'm bogging down. But it's kind of just like that soft tarmac up there. It made you kind of feel a little bit slow. Yeah. And he was the same. But anyways, you drop down, and as soon as you drop down, it was hairpins and like a sharp left onto the coast. And mate, if you weren't up the front when you turned left at the bottom onto the coast, you were going into it braking, and you were just seeing people lined out sprinting. Yeah. And that was probably one of the hardest points of the course.
Yeah.
Like it was legit full strung out, 60 k's an hour at least. Like put your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
And I remember so many times just looking back, and it's pancake flat, and it was just split to pieces, like off the back. And then as soon as it gets put into the gutter like that, you're back around and you got to start climbing again. So an hour and a half in, I was like, holy shit, this is going to be a long race.
Yeah, and it's quite exposed out on that coastline, wasn't it?
It was. So it was literally pretty much straight into a cross tailwind. So it was just full. It was full noise.
Yeah.
So a very hard course. And Steph had a bit of a stomach bug leading into the race. So then I ended up catching it a little bit, and then with that, I just couldn't absorb anything, and I was having stomach problems and stomach cramps and other things. And like the morning of, I was like, oh, this is not ideal. And I was like, well, I got to do it. 15 minutes in, I was like, I'm going to have to pull out. Hey, there's like no way I'm going to finish this race. And then I was just thinking, I was like, oh, all my family here, they've flown to come watch. I was like, my uncle and my dad have just dragged literally a 20 kilo esky 3Ks down the road with all my feed and all my ice, and they've gone and filled up all my bottles that morning for me and everything. And I was like, there's no freaking way I can pull out, because like after everyone's already done all that stuff. So I was like, I just got to freaking do as best I can and try and finish. And anyways, I was worse at the start than I was towards the end, but I spent like the entire race not even worrying about my legs. It was worrying about how to get rid of my stomach cramps. And then like an hour and a half in, I was bonking because all the fluid, like I was smashing fluid, and I was smashing so many carbs because I felt like I was bonking, because no matter what I had, like nothing was getting absorbed. Yeah. It was literally just sitting in my stomach, and my stomach was like so bloated. And I was like, dude, what is going on? So no matter what I had, I was legit bonking. Yeah. I couldn't have had any more.
Yeah.
So I just had to smash a nootropics and hope I could just run on some caffeine and taurine for the rest of the race. And I reckon and that's where the other thing, like you do that big carbo load the day before. If I didn't do that, I would have been completely, there's no way I was getting through it. Yeah. So half an hour in, an hour and a half in, if you said I was going to get 11th, I would have been like, no, I'm not even getting to the finish. But so I'm happy with that, but I do wish I could have tried for a medal, because it definitely was on ski fitness wise. Yeah,
I think it was definitely on the cards for you on the right day. But you look at that last 15, mate, and it's pretty very select group of people.
Yeah.
Like
it is,
half of them a world tour.
Exactly. Well, yeah, majority of them.
Like you go through these names. Let's have a quick look at the top 15. You know, you had Durbo win, Platt second, Walshy third, Brady fourth, Harper fifth, Jay Vine sixth, Blake Angeletto seventh, Ollie Bledding eighth, Jai ninth, Blake Quick 10th, you 11th, Cam Scott, Ben Dybel, Dylan Hopkins, Kel O'Brien. Dude.
It's pretty, yeah. How many people finished? I think maybe like 25 or so? 30?
25 finished
25.
out of 72 or something.
Yep. And that would have down quickly, hey?
Very.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how quickly the selections were made.
Yep.
One thing I want to touch on is at the end, obviously Durbo was off the front, and I think you guys had whittled that next group down to like 10 of you or something.
Yeah.
And you guys pretty much had that group for maybe like, what was it like? Maybe the last 5 laps or so?
Yep, probably.
What was what was it like being in that group? Because I saw a few times, to me, there'd been some selections made again within that group, but then it just all come back together again.
Yeah, and that was the annoying thing is, I was like, I don't know, I wish I had a better day, hey. But what it was like for me is the last probably 4 laps, there like Durbo was out the front, and then each lap there was like a selection of maybe 4 laps to go, 3 laps to go, a selection of like 5 to 7 of us. And I was lucky enough to make the selection, and then I'd be like, oh, sweet, like top 10 guarantee here. Like this is for sure going away. Anyways, then there just would be a lack of cooperation because you have like Jayco sitting on, so everyone kind of just stops riding a little bit. Then the 15 combine. And then probably like the last 2 or 3 laps, there was literally Durbo and then probably 5 of us making the selection over the top, and we're away. And I was like, oh, we're on here, like this is really good. And then it was just a lack of cooperation. But I can't really talk on that as well because I was definitly not riding to chase Durbo because I literally was I was fighting my own fight. But it was just a lack of cooperation. But
it's funny how it comes down to like coming into that last out on the coast, and man, I thought it was crazy for that group to just let Liam Walsh go away. I was like, what?
I know.
What are you doing?
It was.
That's someone you just won't see again, dude.
I went back and watched it.
Yeah.
So what's happened, right, is Jay. So we did so Platt went away. Then we climbed that second last climb really hard, and it literally went Durbo out front, Platt bridging. And then the next group was Harper, myself, Jay Vine, Jai, and Brady. And then that was the group. And then somehow the other boys caught up, and then Jay Vine and Jai were like chasing along the top. So they had committed to the chase all over the plateau. And then they kind of stopped a little bit. The other boys joined back up. Yeah. And then, like I said, we hit that coast, and Jay and Jai chased so hard, like full gas, that whole flat. And then as soon as they flicked the elbow, obviously everyone was thinking we're racing for third here, like thinking about a medal, thinking it's going to be decided on the climb.
Yeah.
And then they kind of stop and look at each other, and then they've chased that whole time for like the last 10 minutes, and then that's when Blake and Walshy just like came at speed and just went for it. And looking back at it, like I literally was just riding. I was riding along, like trying to like stretching.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what am I doing? And so everyone just watch each other, and then fair play. Like you got to be prepared to lose it to win it. Because if you do that, you are literally committing. Like if I get caught right now, I'm going to get dropped on the climb.
Yeah.
Like especially by like Jay and Jai. So I was just thinking, all right, my last bullet is going to be on the climb. Yeah. And then it was annoying because then we would have started looking at each other, and then we turned left onto the straight, so it's still probably got 3 minutes of climbing.
Yep.
And then I saw him, and then Harper attacked again, and then I just went full gas to attack him, to follow him before we got to the climb, and then that was my bullet.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, maybe we can slip away, but it didn't. So
yeah.
So that was that, but it was so weird how he got away, like how Luke bridged across the way, because it wasn't an attack.
No, he was on the front, dude, and he just
Yep.
kind of got out of the saddle and rode away.
He was on the front, and it was like a few of the World Tour guys on the front as well, and he kind of got a gap because we're coming into the feed soon, and he literally probably got like 5 meters, and he was sitting down, and everyone was like, oh, like he's not going to attack from the front kind of thing, and then he kind of just like seated, accelerated away,
Yep.
and then he started going faster and faster,
Yeah.
and then everyone was like, oh shit, like it's probably time we like bring Chiz back, and then everyone starts like going hard to like catch up, and then as we're going harder and harder, he's going harder and harder, and then that's how it went because Brady was on the front when he was trying to bring Platt back, and he committed for like 30 seconds.
Yep.
And then obviously he was like, oh, I don't want to waste a bullet.
Yeah.
And then he pulled off, and then that was it, and then it was done.
Yep.
So that was that.
Yeah, right.
But
it was still a mate. You got to be like I message you. It's a select group, dude, and you've proven yourself again to just be in that top tier in Australia cycling.
yeah,
So
no, it's good fun. But there was some good performances all around.
yeah, definitely. So who do you think your standout was out of the males?
Standout
Who did you think was just the strongest on the day? Whether it worked out for him or not?
obviously Durbo. No one can take away that because the thing he had to average 45 k's an hour by himself for that, which is insane. And in the wheels, I averaged 290 watts for the 4 hours in the wheel. So think about how many watts he would have had to do by himself out there, and he's a big boy. So it's hard to say wasn't the strongest.
Yep.
But I reckon Jay Vine he was pretty freaking impressive. Hey, like he was probably every time he would go to the front, you'd be like, damn, this is like really hard, and he just kept going and going. I think he obviously is one of the best in the world, full stop. So he just got worked over. Yeah. Which is how it is when it's a 6v1 for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is standard. It is what it is.
Yep.
So I reckon Jay, what Luke did was obviously impressive. So yeah, like that was insane. Jai was super aggressive as well.
Yep.
And everyone knows how good he is. Walshy, what he did there, just taking the chance and having a crack, especially
that's
the sprinter.
probably my standout for the day, dude. Yeah. Result wise, because you look at that, it was it even a couple months ago he was on the track?
Exactly.
And he's come out to road nats, dude, and he's a big boy too. You know, like getting around. You gotta.
I know.
He's versatile.
I know.
Very impressive to be.
It's impressive.
Concentrating on track and then turn that around within. I don't even think it was 8 weeks, dude.
Yeah. No, he deserves to step up 100%.
Yeah. So that's pretty.
Be interesting to see what happens, hey, because like, as an Australian, you think you'd get it to go on an Australian team, hey?
Yeah. Like, to me, it's you're getting the track out of him, and he can.
Yeah. Do a lead out.
Can sprint, reduce bunch. Yeah. He can get around a hard course.
Yep. Well, there's TDU this week, so it'd be good to see how he goes there.
How he goes. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So I reckon probably that's maybe what they're waiting for. Who knows? Yep. There's definitely not his agent.
Yep. Any other highlights like the women or anything like that?
I reckon
to me, the women that Ella Simpson was the strongest by far. She just got done over, dude. Just sat on. She pulled that front group around for the last 2 laps. I don't know what she was thinking.
Well, I think Lucy Stewart was saying like she had bad legs, so maybe like that was the vibe in the bunch, and she was like, all right, well, I've got this.
Yeah, I thought, mate, and she'd like look at them and they're like, nah. She sat on the front for the last couple of laps.
Yeah, it's crazy. What did she end up getting?
Second.
Yeah, nice. Still unreal.
To me, she was the strongest by far in the women's field.
Yeah, probably shout out the juniors and under 23s that I coach.
Yep.
Tully, 4th in the TT, which was insane because she has only been pure cycling for 2.5 months, 3 months. Yep. And to be like 4th best in Australia for the time trial is insane. So she's super fresh to it, so that's really cool. Ryan, he got 10th in the TT after just coming out of under 17s and only having his TT bike for 2 weeks. Jack did insanely well as well after coming off the back of a rowing camp like 4 weeks beforehand.
Bit of cross training.
Yep. So he did really well. We also had Josh Newman. He raced on 23s. Except shout out to Josh because he had pneumonia maybe 2 months before the race. And he got the all clear to start riding from the doctors a month before. But mate,
Bloody hell.
I know the fact that he even turned up to race after going through that and having like that much time off the bike to get better.
Yep.
Like nobody else, I wouldn't have been on the start line. There's no way.
No.
So I was talking to him and he's like, "Nah, still going." I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
So fair play for him to still going because that's a massive effort. So, he's got a big season ahead of him because he's got some really nice results last year. He just needs some luck now and a bit of time to get fit again. Another one as well, we had Salsi. She won the Grand Fondo for her age, which is insane. After not having her bike for a little bit, and she was trying to she had some disrupted training with that. So, to bounce back and
get
the win was insane as well. We also had Cam, who dabbles in cycling specific racing, but he's specifically a triathlete, and he ended up winning his road race and his TT as well. So very impressive for Cam.
Holy.
Let's go.
Cleaned up, mate. Win bonuses for you on the cards or top? You get any bonuses?
No bonuses here. Just
okay. All right.
I just get the satisfaction of just a little pat on the back.
That's worth it. That's worth it.
That's good.
Should do. Who's your pick for TDU men's?
I reckon Jay Vine.
Yep.
He looked coming off like previous year, being a previous year winner. His team is insane. I reckon.
Yep. I reckon a little sneaky one could be Finn Fisher Black.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Or Finn.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good shout.
Yeah, I reckon it might be Finn.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised, hey?
Yeah.
He's got really good individual pursuit times, like when he was a junior, so he naturally has like 5 minutes in him.
Yep. Yeah.
I'd back it.
What did you see that crash in the crit?
Insane. Someone's got to be injured.
So what are your thoughts on that final corner, mate? Putting that stuff in.
Oh man, I just think we need a surely of how big the sport is now.
Why can't you get like padded corners?
I was going to say surely we need to have some sort of different system for the odd barriers. It just can't be. It can't be metal.
Nah. Because as we've seen, you're putting the public and the spectators in danger now as well. Because old mate that's been cleaned up. I don't know if it was female, male. They're still in hospital, mate.
Yeah. Well, imagine standing there and getting hit at 50.
Dude, and by like 6 guys.
Yep.
So, and you're just endangering the cyclist so much as well.
Yeah.
And mate, this is they're not going to touch the brakes either. Like, it's a race. They're going to put themselves in that corner the same, especially those sprinters. You know how wild those boys are. They're going to put themselves in that position regardless of the danger. And you just, like, I don't know, like even just padding. Like, do a nice, solid padded wall there.
I agree.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen an event with a solution.
No. And because I do understand that it's probably the most exciting part of the whole race, coming into that final corner. And you'd know what it's like in races. It's the most decisive part of the whole race. That's probably where your race is made. But so it's great for spectating, but at the same time, it's just way too dangerous.
Yeah.
And especially for the teams, like, that could be a rider out for the season.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
you can literally die. You literally could die.
Like, how's Bora? That could be Sam Welsford gone all year.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Anyway,
I know. Well, imagine if you hit your head bad, a bit wonky on there.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah. I know.
That could be the last time you ride a bike or pass away or.
Yep. There needs to be some sort of like surely blow up system or something like that.
Yeah. Well, you know how like the baseball and that the outfield wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Padded?
Exactly. Something like that.
Yeah. So at least you're not going into a metal barrier, and I don't think there's anything you can do about the road.
Yep.
But at least you're not going
Yep.
into
Well,
metal.
the race organisers can probably see like, all right, this kind of could be a little bit dangerous.
Yeah,
This last corner, let's maybe put some padding here when for a fact they're going to be doing 70 k's an hour into it.
and to stick the spectators literally on the corner,
Yeah.
like standing on the gate, like
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
yeah, bit silly.
Yep.
I think they've got to look at starting to
Do that. Yeah.
come up with a few ideas on that sort of stuff.
One of the things that they've started doing in Europe is where, like, like the islands in the middle or like poles like that, they now, I know in the Netherlands, they have to have these, it's a big sign. They're like maybe 2 meters tall and it makes a flashing noise so you can see it from ages away.
Yep.
So it's like, points out exactly where it's going to be. So I know in the Netherlands, they got to have those now for those islands and dangerous things like that. But I haven't seen anything for a substitution for barriers. But I've seen so many bad things and bad crashes with these metal barriers. It's just ridiculous.
Yep. And like, I don't think it's going to be much of a cost thing either.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be hard literally to have, what would you need, 20 meters of padding just on the U of the corner to 10, like coming out and coming in.
Yep. And you know how they talk about like the legs on the poles, how they've like got the inverted ones? I understand that it's better than them being out, but that's not the solution.
No. Like, look what Plappy did, mate.
What did he do?
Did at the Olympics.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
He just got one of those feet straight through his guts.
Yeah, no good.
Yeah. So it's pretty, especially for how much money they've got. Like, surely you can just save on crucial parts of the course even. Like, it doesn't have to be everywhere.
Yep. No, I'm on board. What else we got in here?
I think that's about it for that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. What's up next for you?
Next for me, just keep training, mate.
Yep.
I'm gonna just keep chipping away. I think the plan is maybe at this stage looking at Ironman Oz in Port.
Yep. When's that?
In May.
Awesome. So
maybe get a little tune-up race in before that. Not 100% sure what though.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the goal. So another Ironman, which is real smart with a tear in the hip, but it's the only one
just be smart.
It's the only one that excites me.
Yeah.
Like,
well, what's the point of doing it if it doesn't excite you?
Yeah, I know. Like, it's the only one I feel like you've got to train and commit to the process to get through, or you're just going to have the most miserable day ever.
Yeah. And
I like that. I like the process rather than the actual event, and I'm shit scared of it, dude.
Well, you're there for this is the lifestyle. You love the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You love going to the pool.
Yep. Yeah, love it. So what's the rest of your year look like now? So you've done that. When's your? I guess you've got a fair bit of racing in Asia.
Yeah, so week off the bike, which was nice. Bit of beach time. See what the goes with Oshis. And then we'll race in Asia. Kick it off in Japan. Middle of March or April is my first block there. So
how long's that block?
Be 2 or 3 months for my first block. Then come back for a little bit and then go for another block. So pretty keen. I'm keen to get racing. So little refresh and then we'll go.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Have you brushed up on your Japanese, mate?
Hi.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I know.
All right.
Easy, mate. All right. Well, thanks everybody for being patient with us.
We're gonna
commit to us again.
Yeah. Nice little hiatus, but I guess we plan on bettering our last year stuff, getting some good guests on and diving into a bit, because we do enjoy it. Like, the last few weeks of not doing it, I have missed it a bit.
I know. It's good. It is good.
Yeah, I just like having the chat, mate.
I agree. Well, that's the whole reason why we started it.
Yeah.
But I reckon as well, when we started, it was a bit of an awkward time. It's like the back end of the year.
Yeah.
We're kind of catching the end of everything. So I reckon this is going to be really good because it's coming off the new year and everything's just starting to ramp up, so we can be there for the full story instead of trying to catch the back end of it, especially all the cycling stuff, triathlon stuff.
Yep.
Like when you can be there from the start.
And I reckon this year we try and branch out into some other sports too, get some other guests on.
I agree. But also, people listening, like, let us know what you want us to talk about, because we literally will talk about anything. We'll talk about non-cycling related stuff, non-sport. Mate, we
rarely talk cycling, dude.
That's such a lie. No, you're right. No, we don't just talk about that.
No, we talk more shit than anything.
Yeah, exactly. If you just want that, if you want silly stuff, like if you want coaching stuff, if you want advice things about training, like anything.
Yep.
Even though we come off a little bit lighthearted and silly, we can get serious and professional and scientific with some things.
Yeah, both love it.
Yeah, it's good. Easy, mate.
Easy as. Well, first one done.
You enjoy your family dinner.
I will, mate. I will. I'm hoping it's seafood tonight, but...
What are you thinking?
I don't know. What? Roast chicken.
Let's go. So it's not
that'll
seafood.
Do.
That'll do.
Nah, it's not, but that'll do.
That'll do.
Yep.
All right.
So, all right.
Easy, mate.
We'll be back for a guest next week.
Let's do it.
All right, bro.
Cheers, Kurt.
See yous.